This episode is sponsored by Code Crafters. As an engineer myself, I know that the best way to learn how to code is to build something new. But sometimes it's hard to come up with project ideas as well as find a community of folks on the same learning path. That's where Code Crafters comes in. With Code Crafters, you can build something that actually stimulates your mind while strengthening your engineering fundamentals. And you can do so by using your favorite IDE or tools to code and build your own Git, Redis, or HTTP server in the language of your choice. Languages like Rust, C++, or Go. Code Crafters is designed to optimize your learning experience as it's designed for productivity. Sign up today and become a better, more confident programmer. Visit codestory.co/codecrafters. That's CODECRAFTERS to get started and get 40% off your upgrade. Okay guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by Melee Search. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And Melee Search gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full-text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. Melee Search delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at meleesearch.com. That's MEILI search.com.
First version of the product was a button. And really it was, you press start and then you talk to a patient, you press start and you get a very simple clinical summary, almost a transcription. Build a little demo very quickly with just off-the-shelf tools. So I called a friend of ours, who's also a doctor, and she came in the evening, came for dinner, and then I showed her the product. It was basically a recording that I transcribed and then put into ChatGPT, the first version of ChatGPT, with some prompts that I prepared. And I showed it to her, and at that moment, I knew that Fried is going to work. Next day, she would text me, when is it ready? What are we going to do? So really for me, that was the moment that I just knew. I'm Erez Druk. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Fried.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
A company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve
Most
more.
proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was
Yes, we've been fighting it as we grow.
total waste of time.
The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind
Took it
you.
off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
to ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want it.
It's not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Labhart, and today how Erez Druk is taking charting off your to-do list by building a purpose-built AI medical scribe. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more, MOR, with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When off is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. Erez Druk grew up in Israel, but has been in the Bay Area for many years. He has a common theme in his life of obsessing over his current thing. In the 4th grade, it was the saxophone, and later on, it was being Israel's board game champion. And then, he became obsessed with startups. Outside of tech, he's married and expecting his first child. He's into exercising, reading, and coffee. His favorite is going to a coffee shop with his wife and having a cappuccino and a pastry. But at home, he leans towards his aeropress. 8 years ago, Erez met his wife, who was heading into medical school. He got to see firsthand how folks in the healthcare system work and how hard their jobs are. After wrapping up his prior startup, he started down the path of building a solution that improved the lives of these clinicians. This is the creation story of Freed.
So Freed is an AI clinician assistant. We help clinicians prepare for visits, get intelligence from their patient visits, and document them, saving them time, and more importantly, saving a lot of the burnout that clinicians experience doing administrative work. That's what the company does. I would say it started 8 years ago when Gabi and I met, just before Gabi started med school, and we had a short moment in time to fall in love before med school started and life ended. But more seriously, I got sucked into the world of clinicians and got to see how, through Gabi and our friends, med school during COVID, I got to see how these are really the most selfless people in the world. And now we take them, put them in the healthcare system, and really squeeze the soul out of them to the extent that everybody's burnt out, quitting in messes, telling their kids, you can do anything in life, but you're not going to be a doctor. Really hard to watch. Highest suicide rates among all professions in the US are clinicians. So that was the painful inspiration. 3 years ago, when I shut down my first startup and started exploring something new, all of that bubbled up, and the really idea behind Freed was not even the product, it was the idea of building for the clinician. Most of the tech in healthcare is built for, I don't know who, but definitely not to make the clinician life better. So it was really the only goal was, let's build a product that they want to use, happy to use, and get value out of. And yeah, that's how it all started almost 3 years ago.
Let's dive into what you would consider the MVP for Freed, so that first version of the product you built. How long did it take to build, and what sort of tools were you using to bring it to life?
First version of the product was a button. And really it was, you press start, and then you talk to your patient, you press start, and you get a very simple clinical summary, almost a transcription. That was the MVP. And I always believed in building something big in like the smallest, tiniest increments. So I called up in the beginning of 2023, I called up my friend Andre, good friend from Facebook. I have this idea. I'm sure there's value here. AI timing is just perfect. And really stitched that together in a few weeks. And it was very simple. It was essentially a HIPAA compliant conversation summarizer and not much more than that. And we launched it, gave it to a few of my friends. Actually, So the way exactly it went down was, so I had this idea and then build a little demo very quickly with just off-the-shelf tools. I show it to my wife, Gabi, and she's I don't know. So you should always trust your wife, but not too much. So I called a friend of ours, who's also a doctor, and she came in the evening, came for dinner, and then I showed her the product. It was basically a recording that I transcribed and then put into ChatGPT, the first version of ChatGPT, with some prompts that I prepared. And I showed it to her, and at that moment, I knew that Fried is going to work. But I just could see on her face, that wow moment. Next day, she would text me, when is it ready? What are we going to do? So really, for me, that was the moment that I just knew, hey, something here is going to work. And that's when I called up Andre and really built the actual MVP of the product.
So I love that story. And I'm curious about maybe a decision or trade-off you had to make in building that quote-unquote button, right? And how you decided, what you were going to use to build it, or how you were going to approach it, or maybe you were just going to approach it in that button format. Tell me about how you worked through those decisions and how you coped with them.
So we really stripped everything down to the minimum besides one thing, which is HIPAA. We knew that without that, that's the kind of hard line. So that's the thing that took us about a while to just, how do we build the product in a way that we can guarantee to clinicians this is HIPAA compliant, to record your patients. That's a serious thing to do. First clinician who used us to record or read patient visits was a big celebration. So we knew that this is the only hard line. But really, besides that, it was everything off the shelf. What is the easiest transcription model we can get? What is the best LLM that we can use off the shelf? And then really, what is the minimal output that we can provide that would get us create some value for clinicians? No customization, no anything. Really, you just record, you get a clinical summary. So really, it was a process of, again, I don't think this is too unique to building MVPs. What is true must-have that without it, you're going to jail? And then once we shipped that very quickly, it was clear that the value is there, but also all the many other things that we've been building since to make it better and more valuable product.
This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more, MOR, and DIY less. With Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is brought to you by Vention, your partner in building smarter with AI. When you're moving fast, AI can be your biggest growth driver or a major time sink. That's why Vention created expert-led AI workshops, tailored sessions that help startups test ideas quickly, validate product fit, and avoid expensive detours. You'll walk away with a clear, practical roadmap built by senior engineers and an in-house CTO who've delivered over 150 AI projects across 30-plus industries, giving you not just technical direction, but the engineering peace of mind that every decision is built to last. Go to ventionteams.com or book your AI workshop now at ventionteams.com/codestory and go from idea to impact faster. That's ventionteams.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature, doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. So you've got that MVP, it's working, you get that reaction you're looking for, and you're excited. How did you progress and mature the product from that point? And I think to wrap that in a box with a little bit, but what I'm looking for is how you built your roadmap, how you went about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address with Freed.
At the end of the day, I think that you should have a vision and go towards it, but your customers and your users know what you need best. So still to this day, every night when my wife when Gabi comes home, it's a feedback session about the product, and it's very painful, but very important in us building the best products. That was always the number one thing. We built a lot of mechanisms to hear what people need. And 2 things emerged very quickly. One is quality is the most important thing. So I almost think about our product today as truly as an assistant. Imagine that you have 2 assistants. They can look the same, they can move the same, but at the end of the day, you ask both of them a question, and once you hear the answer, you can see the difference in the kind of intelligence and capability. It's the same with AI products, like how smart, how accurate, how personalized, how smart is the brain without your product. So we made really big investments since then, which makes us, I believe, in a very competitive market now, the smartest Scribe product, and that's what we're hearing from our users to this day. So one, we understood that the quality of the intelligence is the number one thing. The second thing we understood is that the clinical note is a gateway to many other workflows, sending a referral, doing your billing, preparing for the next visit. So we started essentially growing across the clinician workflow. So we pretty quickly built not a note summary, but a summary for the next visit. So next time Noah is going to see Gabi, the doctor, she would put in your name and get a summary of what happened last time. So we really started growing basically across the workflow, both preparing for the visit and more actions after the visit. And that was the 2 guiding principles that we've been focused on really in the past 2 years in terms of how do we create deeper value with quality and more value across the workflow.
In your description, you mentioned we a lot. I'm curious about how you built that team. What do you look for in those people to indicate that they're the winning horses to join you?
We do everything fast at Freed. Literally one of our values is no patience for slowness. With hiring, I think it's different. You still want to hire fast, but you want to hire the right people. So really getting it right is more important than speed. So beyond slowly, we really looked for 3 things that make sure that they are a good fit for Freed. One is really this user obsession and connection to the mission. Number 2 is speed. We need people that can move fast because speed is really the main currency of a startup. Number 3, just people who are smart and good at what they do. So really that simple. And the way to test for these was to obviously construct the interview process to really test for these things, make sure that we do in the hiring process out of more like simulation and tests and not just like asking questions and tell me how smart you are. And really making sure that, again, nothing special here, but that you're really, as you need more people and like, I have to hire the next PM, that we're just never lowering this bar. One of the principles in our hiring process that is still true to today is that I'm doing a final interview with everyone. That's a lot of everyone. I take a lot of time, but really there's many cases where these helped prevent the wrong decision one way or another. So being very involved in the hiring, I think that's ultimately, as a founder, one of the main jobs. The best hiring process hits correctly at most 80% of the time. So part of a good hiring process is to be able to say goodbye, of course, in a nice way, quickly. That's also the hard part of hiring, is to be able to do that as well.
This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When off is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch is lightning fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open source AI search engine is plug and play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MailySearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. Okay, I'm curious about scalability. This will be interesting. I know it's semi-early days here, but you have a product and it's working and you're maturing it. How has scale factored into your decisions, or have there been interesting areas where you've had to fight it as you've grown?
Yes, so we scaled very quickly to more than, I should have talked about the numbers a little bit, but we have more than 25,000 clinicians paying and using the product every day, 3 million patient visits a month, and it's a very mission-critical product in the sense that when it doesn't work for 5 minutes, all of them message us and get very angry, rightfully. It disrupts their super important work of taking care of patients. So the scale is pretty meaningful. Number one was, from the get-go, we built the product to be fully AI. A lot of our kind of legacy companies in the space have built human in the middle. We have an investor who built a team of 700 human scribes in India to build their product before the kind of LLM kind of era here. So number one, building everything fully independent with AI from the beginning. That was one. Number two was PLG. So we approach everything with product-led growth mindset. And when we say PLG, it's really in the sense of the product leads the growth. So users can come into Freed and sign up on their own. They learn how to use the product on their own. They can invite their team on their own and really make sure that we build a product that doesn't require any human intervention in order for our user to be successful or and pay for. So that was another big principle. And number three, my co-founder Andre is just extremely the best in the world at building things fast, but also thinking about the future. A lot of times we have debates around, let's just do it faster, let's not worry. And he just has a perfect balance there that sometimes is painful because something takes another day, but then now the system is scalable and we can move so much faster with 30 engineers. And I can take credit for those decisions. This is why I have the best CTO in the world next to me. Maybe one point about this, I don't think that building for scale is as important, not really that you're going to have scale, because we saw it pretty quickly. The adoption was fast. We understood, hey, we're building for scale here. But it's important. I rather do prepare for scale too late than too early, because until you find product market fit, scale really doesn't matter. So it's an important point for others there to don't optimize for scale until scale is coming.
As you step out on the balcony, you look across all that you've built thus far with Freed. What are you most proud of?
So I'll share a story. I was still living in Santa Rosa. I start my morning going on a walk in the park. We live next to this beautiful park, 5 minutes walk from the lake. This is how I start my day before it becomes the craziest thing ever, every day. So I go on a walk and I get a phone call from an unknown number, which I never answered to. For some reason, I don't know why, I just picked it up. And I pick up and this woman on the other side, stressed voice, like, Erez, Freed is not working. My clinic is starting in 30 minutes. What do I do? I don't know who this person is, but I understand that they are a Freed customer. So I'm like, don't worry about it. We didn't have a support team back then. So I'm telling her, don't worry about it as I'm running home. I get home, we jump on a video call, and clinicians are amazing at what they do. And they're not tech people and they don't care about the tech. So many of them are not tech savvy. So she had 2 accounts with different logins, something. So we cleaned it up and got her set up. And we were both very anxious, but then it worked out just a few minutes before her clinic starts. Since then, we hired support people and using AI for support, of course, so not doing this every day. But part of the story, after we all relax and she's thanking me, we're on a video call and she sits in her office, which is in her home, and she tells me, Erez, this is my private clinic. I've been building it for 10 years, built it from the ground up, and I'm so burnt out and it's been so hard and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing anymore. And I decided I'm shutting the clinic down. I'm just going to work. It's one of the big health systems. And then she said, but 4 or 5 weeks ago, I found Freed and it changed everything. I have time now. I'm getting my notes done. I can be present with my patients. I'm enjoying what I love again. And I changed my mind. I'm going to keep running this practice for as long as I can. And just want to thank you for building this product. And I really didn't expect, I want to build a valuable product for our users. I didn't expect that it would change their lives in the sense that clinicians would tell us that I'm still in medicine because of Freed. I'm seeing my kids for dinner on the weekdays again because I can leave the office when my last patient does. I went on vacation without my laptop for the first time in 10 years. It really does free them from the biggest burden in their lives, which is those medical notes. It's like this thing that always weighs on them. The question was, what am I most proud of? Is just what clinicians are telling us and how it's making them just stay in medicine and have a better life. It's really the most fulfilling thing I could be spending my days and nights doing.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
In startups, it's all about correcting your mistakes quickly and learning from them versus avoiding mistakes. Yeah, probably the biggest one is we built the company remotely, and that worked really well until it stopped working well because we started adding out of people, and remote is just more challenging in many ways. So I think that the mistake, or the thing at least I would change, we shifted to in-person, moved out of the people into San Francisco, still have some remote folks, but we're not hiring remotely anymore. And that really changed everything in terms of execution. But we've done that late and lost a lot of time and hired a lot remotely. And yeah, so I think the mistake was not, I felt it in my gut, but took me a while to just act on it because it was a scary change. And it's interesting, the way the team responded to it was, so in my leadership team, nobody was in favor for this move, and I still decided with all the inputs to do it. And once I made a decision, the change was so fast. It was instantly clear for everyone that's working. Everybody was happy. So really, the hard part was, the way I see it, hard decisions are hard until you make them. And once you make them, you just do the thing that needs to be done. So I would say that's something that I would have changed and done a lot earlier in the lifetime of the company.
Okay, Erez, let's move forward then, and this will be fun to hear your passion about what you're building and where your current state is and where you're going. What does the future look like for Freed, for the company, the product, and for your team?
this is an exciting time. AI in the right context is so useful. It's just clear to me that AI is going to be in every moment in healthcare, and we want to essentially do that. How do we bring useful AI to the clinician when they prep for the visit? This is something we have now, and clinicians love that. How do we bring it to the kind of patient-facing interactions? The back office in healthcare, $1 trillion of administrative waste every year, out of frustration for everyone. How do we bring agents to help with the scheduling and the intake and all those processes? So really that's the idea, to make AI as useful in healthcare as possible. The future right now, we have been shifting from essentially a scribe, which is a note taker, to a full-on assistant for the clinician, helping him with the prep, with clinical decision support, with all of the artifacts, and integrating it into the workflow, which is very hard to do in healthcare. And from there, we're looking to really keep building all the way to being essentially the AI platform for this clinic. Allow others to build those AI workflows, build it all in a cohesive experience so you don't have 50 different AI tools in a small clinic, and really make sure that we really free everybody from the slowness, the waste, the inefficiency of healthcare, not just the clinician, but the clinics themselves and, of course, the patients. That's what we're building towards. Building the team, we're currently at 70 folks, hiring across all dimensions. There's a lot to build here in SF and also in New York. And I think ultimately the core mission is to build a company that clinicians love. So that would always be the core. And there's so many ways to do it. Unfortunately, in healthcare, with so many cumbersome tasks and problems that they have, that it's all about just keep building the right products and little AIs to help them solve those problems.
Erez, let's switch to you. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to, and why.
I think you won't be surprised that I would mention my wife, Gabi. She's user number 0, but also influenced me a lot in terms of I debate a lot of things with her. I think she's probably the most empathetic person in the world. She's truly this kind of person who just cares about others and feels others more than kind of above herself. She's really a special person. I love her as much as a human can love someone. But I think I learned a lot from her about just, I evolve as a human. I think I'm more empathetic. I think I understand others better and obviously understand our users better. So she's a big one. There's so many others. I mentioned one more good friend of mine who really started that company with us. His name is Jonathan. He's the first investor in Freed, and he's a friend of mine since the age of 3. We grew up in the same town in Israel. And maybe the smartest person I know, maybe the best entrepreneur I know, and just great human. I call him very frequently. And just inspiration of what just world-class leadership and entrepreneurship and smartness, just amazing person. So he helped me a lot along the way. So both of them influenced me a lot, helped me a lot. The emotional, mental, practical challenges of building a startup. And I wish I could name everybody, because really you need to get a lot of help when you try to do something hard, and can be very lonely and hard if you don't have that support. But Gabi and Jonathan are the 2 first people that come to mind.
Okay, Erez, last question. So you're getting on a plane. You're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world, and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit, several times?
Have to start with a disclaimer that there are no playbooks and there's no right way to do a startup. So I can only share what worked for me. Number 1 is, who are your users? And I mean that in the sense, everybody said they are user focused, but I really think there's a deeper meaning of just user care. Do you truly care when a user of yours have a bad experience? Do you tell someone to fix it? Or is there a level of kind of pain and care there that is deeper than just, we're user obsessed? This is the biggest difference between my previous startup to this one. I love our users. I know everything about them. I understand how they think. And all I want to do in my life is to make their lives better. And that really proliferates to the entire company. So this is our number 1 value, is to earn clinician love. And I think that's not the only way to build a company, but for me, that's the best way to build, just truly you're creating a gift for someone else. So that's number 1 for me. Number 2, when I shut down my first startup called Verbally, it was painful. For a second and a half, I thought of not doing a second startup, and I decided to do it. And I'm very happy with that, not only because Freed is doing much better, but because I really believe I found my calling with startups. And my bond there is being a founder, entrepreneur, whatever you like to call it. It's not about taking a swing and succeeding or not. I really think the way to approach it is in a kind of a career-long view. How do you become the best in the world in being a founder and at your space? How do we make sure we can take a few swings, because many of the best companies were not the first or second startup the founder started. And I think when you take that long-term view, you're almost guaranteed to succeed to some extent. If you're trying once and failing and then go back to Facebook, nothing against that, of course, I think it's just not the right way to approach it. One, user care, and two, take the kind of career-long view at being a startup person versus trying something and see if it sticks or not. Those are two kind of small pieces of advice from, again, my vantage point of doing this twice now.
I think that's great advice. Well, Erez, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for telling the creation story of Freed.
Thank you.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.